Oh, yeah. What's up, folks? Having a little party here tonight. Most definitely. In the wee hours on the graveyard shift. Checking off all of those boxes. This is Michael. Welcome back. Like I said, I'll be here all weekend, folks. Having nothing but fun. Even if I have to dance with myself. Which I do often. In the middle of the night. A little bit of the boss for you right there to get things started. All right, folks. I hope you're ready for a good weekend. It was raining. It's been kind of wet and windy. I can hear the wind howling outside for sure. It's been doing that all night long. But nonetheless, it's the weekend, so I'm not going to let it bother me. Let's get right to it, folks. The answer to the previous trivia question was none other than Sherlock Holmes, the great detective, and Mr. John Watson, the psychiatrist. I think he was. I think that was his actual official profession. But anyways, it's Holmes and Watson was the answer, folks. Now, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, which I know you have all heard of. This is from what was known, the trivia question referenced what was known as the 1939 series of Holmes and Watson in particular. And this is known as the 1939 series in the world of movies and televisions. And that's because there has been so many versions of this crime-fighting duo, this incredible crime-fighting duo over the many years, based on the novel and writing of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And these two characters were prominent in that series and in its origin as well. It's elementary, my dear Watson, is where that famous phrase came from, was from this duo, as you all know. That's been featured in previous trivia questions as well. Now, the series of the films of this duo ran from 1939 until 1946, folks. That is a pretty cool run, especially for that time and for that era. I'll discuss that a little bit later. British actors Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, who was featured, focus of the trivia question, referenced in that previous trivia question, played famous Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson, the first two films in the series. And the first two series were by 20th Century Fox. This was both in 1939, so they did these first two movies back to back, and then Universal Pictures produced another incredible 12 films thereafter, an incredible 14 run of characters in film. For the age and the era, remember, this is the late 1930s, folks. We're coming out of the Depression, right, into the Roosevelt era, getting ready for World War II, and people needed some good entertainment. And this run of 14 films during this less than 10-year period certainly provided that. The Hound of the Baskervilles is considered, which was also referenced as the very first movie with this duo, is considered a gothic mystery film, is what it's known as. It's actually from a 1902 from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The 1939 version is considered the most well-known cinematic adaptation of the novel, because there has been a few over the years, and it is often regarded as one of the best, as it has been redone many times over the years. The two characters at the time didn't even get top billing at first. They were secondary on the marquee, if you will, Holmes and Watson for sure. Until, that is, they became very famous very fast as the crime-fighting duo that they were. The plot is dull at best. In fact, I researched The Hound of Baskervilles, and I wasn't impressed with it very much. Obviously, it involves a huge, half-starved, vicious dog trained to attack individual members of the Baskervilles after prolonged exposure to their scent. Talk about a horrible plot. Gracious me. The dog didn't even get any billing either. The Hound of the Baskervilles. You'd figure the dog would at least get some credit, but no such luck. The main takeaway is that the elementary manner in which the duo of Holmes and Watson take on crime in their own special way caught on quickly as a rather popular niche of sorts that stuck with the viewing public. Again, especially in the day and age, remember the 30s and the 40s, people love this kind of entertainment. They love this kind of concept, this kind of niche, if you will, in film. It was a great escape of sorts for people to have a not only kind of a crime-fighting platform and aspect in film, but also attack it in a duo. Pair up a series of characters like that. It's a very popular platform in Hollywood, and quite frankly, it always has been that duo. Think about that, folks. Holmes and Watson, right? Think of the Lethal Weapon type of aspect. See, it's been done over and over again, teaming up to kind of characters like that to fight crime, etc. The Holmes and Watson. Here's some pretty cool geek factoids. In the 1970s, 4 of the 14 original films fell into what was known as public domain, and this is when their copyright was not renewed. Okay, I don't know all the gory details of that, but it fell into what was known as public domain, and it was none other than Hugh Hefner of Playboy fame who stepped in to jointly pay for the rights and the restoration of these films. And that's probably why those films that had fell into kind of deterioration mode, if you will, and went up in public domain, are still around today because of Hugh Hefner. I thought that was pretty cool. Of course, Hugh Hefner was famous for, again, Playboy and for recognizing good, expensive quality. So I'm sure he jumped on an opportunity to restore those films. The Holmes and Watson duo, check this out, have been adapted for the TV and the movie screen more than 250 times. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty sustainable, right? To include cartoons. I included a little insert picture there of the Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson cartoon that once was. And of course, we all are familiar with some of the more versions like Lucy Liu playing Watson, for instance, and some of the other more famous actors and roles who have done this duo over and over again. It's very sustainable, like I said, and probably be around for a long time to come. Oh my goodness, folks. Did somebody say the weekend? Did somebody say the month of April? All right, folks, let's get to it. Here is your brand new trivia question to get this weekend started. And it's April Fool's Day, but no fooling. Here's your new trivia question on this day. In 1970, President Richard Nixon signs legislation officially banning this from being advertised on television and radio, where it was argued that such commercials could easily reach impressionable children. As if they had enough to worry about already. Have a fabulous weekend, folks. Good luck with that trivia question. And I'll be here tomorrow. Do it all over with you. Peace out, folks. I love you guys.